Welcome to the Release Your Blocks podcast. I am your host, Victoria Bond. I am a spiritual empowerment coach. I help teach others to show up to their potency so they can fulfill their mission here on earth. I am so glad you are here. And if you are interested in becoming a medium, if you're interested in becoming a life coach, or if you're interested in shifting your life from the 3D to live more in the 5D reality, then check me out. Book a clarity call and let's get chatting. Today we're going to talk about being a CEO of your own business. I know it sounds really simple, but there's a few things that I've learned over the last few years of having my business and building my business that are really priceless. And the first one is taking responsibility. I know it sounds really basic and people are like, oh, this is, you're going to repeat the stuff that you've already said. And I am, but I'm going to do it in a little bit of a different way. Taking responsibility is not just about taking responsibility for your business and being the CEO, so being the director and the manager and all the things. It's about taking full responsibility for your life, which means no victim mode. No, I didn't get this, or I did get that, or this happened to me, or that person didn't do their job, or yada, 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 yada. It's about taking full ownership. Full ownership and going, okay, cool. So what can I do and what can I be and who do I require to, contribute to or vice versa so I can have a thriving business, because the CEO is the man. You are not being paid by the man, you are the man, which means it is your creativeness, your creative genius that is going to be making those CEO decisions. The reason why I had to learn was because I thought everything was on the external. So I thought I had to learn from the coaches. I thought I had to do the courses. Like I did the life coaching course and the Reiki course and the bars class. I've done, oh my goodness, I've bought NLP. I've had 60K worth of coaching last year. I've bought human design. Like so many things that's just off the top of my head. And although they were great for learning, they weren't the thing that made me successful in my business. Owning myself and taking full responsibility for showing up is actually what made me the best CEO. Taking 100% responsibility means no blaming, no comparing, and it means doing things the way Victoria wants to do it. Not the way that the coach said how to do it, and certainly not the way the accountant said how to do it, or my husband, or my mother, or my sisters, or anyone. Because everyone has an opinion on what you should be doing with your life. Now, I know if it was up to my mum would be all like, definitely don't do that, go be a hairdresser. And I was a very successful hairdresser in my own right, but it wasn't playing in my genius zone. Doing spiritual stuff and showing people how to align to themselves and show up in the world is my genius zone. So I had to take a CEO approach to my life and start actually living that no matter what. Which meant it didn't matter what anybody or anything on the external said to me. It was really about going, okay, this is really about me showing up because it's all about me. So it doesn't matter what courses you do or what coaches you have. In fact, last year I listened to a coach and the coach had a particular opinion on how I should do things. I realized, okay, I like my clients to be coachable, so I want to be coachable. And I went with what he said rather than listening to my gut. And what happened was it threw me out of alignment for about a week or two. I kind of came back to myself and went, no, I have to do this my way. So I took full action, and that's when I actually had like a 20K day, because I listened to myself and not what he was telling me to do. The truth is, the way he was telling me to do it aligned for him, but it was too slow pace for me, didn't feel good, and I couldn't bring myself to doing that. So I actually had to take 1,000% responsibility for myself being a CEO, and realized that the coach, even though I was paying him thousands and thousands of dollars, was simply just an advisor and should have been backing me. So when I showed up, that I could be getting all the advice I required instead of him actually leading and saying, come this way, I was meant to go, hey, can you just back me up because this is what I really want? But I was too scared to say that because it was his way or the highway, and that was kind of the energy I felt. Although the coach was fantastic, I'm not going to diss him because it was my responsibility. It was my responsibility to say, look, this is what I'm truly wanting to do. How can you support me? Instead, I went, okay, you know better than me, and I gave up my power. We are not here to give up our power. And if you don't want to do a program, don't do a program. If you don't want to charge this amount or do this or do this or do this or do this, don't do those things, because you know what you want, because you're the CEO. You're the CEO of your life. If someone told you to stay with somebody, would you stay with them just because they were a good fit, even though you didn't love them? No, you wouldn't. If someone told you to stay being the hairdresser or working in that job, even though you didn't feel anything, but you're really good at it, like you didn't feel like it was aligned, would you actually listen to those people? If someone told you to jump off a cliff, would you do it? No. So why would we do that in our business? Being the CEO of your business is about knowing you create time. Time is not of the external. And I hear way too many people, especially my clients and even sometimes myself, saying, I just don't have time for this. I don't have time for this. I don't have time for this. I don't have time for this. One day I might have the time. The amount of people that go, I want to do your program, I just don't have the time. I want to do your free program, but I just don't have the time. I want to come to this and I want to come to that, but I just don't have the time. I'm like, yeah, but you do have the time. You're just not choosing to do it, because we create time. It's called the Einstein time thing. I can't actually remember it the very off the top of my head right now, but it's Einstein time. That's what it is, right? So we actually create our time. And if you want to know more about that, please go do your own research on that, because time's space. If I desire to create space for myself, that's exactly what I require. But so many of us, we don't want to be bored and we don't want to be busy, but would rather be busy than be bored, so we choose that. That is excuses, that is victim mode, and that is not being the CEO. Being the CEO is taking that responsibility to say, I know I create my own money, because money is just energy. So what energy am I being right now? And I also know that I create my own time. So how is that working out? Am I being a victim of time? Or am I stepping up and knowing that I create everything? With that knowledge and that understanding of I create time and money and all the things in my whole entire life, including my happiness and joy and orgasmic energy, with that knowledge that we create it all, we can step up. But if we think the external has any type of impact on that, then we are still not taking responsibility. A good example of this is when COVID hit. I messaged my coach and I said to her, oh my God, are you making money? That was my first thing. I deflected myself and I deflected my insecurities onto my coach. And sometimes we do that. We ask somebody another question because we are really thinking it for ourselves. I said, are you making money right now? And she said, where do you feel like you can't make money right now? And I went, oh gosh, okay. So I was totally like deflecting right then. And I said, I don't know if I can ask people for money right now because people aren't working and all of these things. And she said, Victoria, if that's your belief, then that's what's going to come about. In COVID, I made some of my best months in business because I realized that my new belief wasn't that people couldn't pay me. My new belief was people should be paying me, and it's a no-brainer because I can help them show up in the digital space. I can help them show up. Of course, they have to be willing and ready and taking full responsibility of being the CEO in their own business and know that time and space and money is just, energy. But I had to really change my mindset on, oh, So I can. So I was homeschooling 2 children. I was launching my Release Your Blocks program and my business program. That was all kind of like in the middle of COVID. And I had 15K months, or even bigger. I'm not even sure right now. But this is, when COVID really began, I know we haven't had it as intensely as other parts of the world, but I know many, many, many coaches in America and the UK, all around the world. I know them on a, like a talking basis, that had their biggest months in COVID, and that's because people had to change the way they were doing business. They had to start up their businesses. They had to step into their superpowers and their genius modes rather than their excellent mode of, I'm doing this job because I get paid well, it's not really fulfilling, but that's okay, and I'm good at it, rather than coming from that point of view. They're coming from, okay, how can I turn around this, not be a victim, and show up to my genius and take a risk? And that's what they did. So they hired coaches. When I showed up in COVID, I showed up with the point of view of service and love, taking full responsibility for myself. Parenting by my husband, he was an essential worker, so he was out every day. And yeah, there was some times that were a little bit tough because I could feel the emotions of other people. But I kept reminding people, you're not a victim. You're not a victim, and take 100% responsibility for yourself. You can step up or you can ship out. You can do fight, you can do flight, you can do freeze, you can do whatever it is that you choose. But if you action things right now, it is a perfect opportunity to be more, share more, and especially share your message. So this is kind of the concept around about being the CEO. Now, today it is kind of like my day off. It's the weekend, and I'm sitting here on my bedroom floor, and I'm recording this off my phone. And this is another part of being a CEO. Nothing and no one will stop me from showing up when I require to show up. I have made sure I've actually created my life around this because I'm the CEO of my business, and in my eyes, I'm a millionaire coach, and I do great things for many people, and free and otherwise, and I deserve to be paid handsomely for my services because I just do. So I have got, I don't know if I can show you guys here. I've got, there we go, a desk over there, a standing desk with all the things. Oops, sorry, I have to set you back up. And I have got that in my bedroom because I like my bedroom because it's nice and light. Now, many might say, oh, don't work from your bedroom, but I like to. I like to have my ranch lighter open. I also like to work outside, and I have an office. And yeah, I've got a 4-bedroom house. I'm super grateful for that at the moment, but I've always been this way. I can work from the beach. I can work from the ground. I can work from outside on my furniture. I can work from the garage if I want to. I can work from other houses, other places. And I've been known in the middle of, I don't think it was COVID, but we lived in when just before I started this Release Your Blocks practitioner program, we lived in a sleep out. So no bedrooms. Lived in a sleep out. And what happened was I had to actually leave the sleep out to do calls, one-to-one calls, and all of the different things, and take my laptop and take all the different things and go to my parents' house and do all these different things because I'm the CEO of my own business and nothing will stop me. I've been known to go out to the car and do sessions or go to the beach because I have no excuses not for showing up. We have got apps, free apps like Otter and Zoom and all of these different things, but people still try to find excuses of why Zoom isn't good enough because it only gives you 45 minutes, or why this app doesn't work, or why this app doesn't work, or da-da-da-da. And this is where the CEO responsibility comes in. It's like, well, Zoom is fantastic, and if I want to upgrade for a ridiculous, small amount of money, then I can do that because I've got this resource and I've got this cell phone. I made my first kind of like 50K off using my cell phone on videos. How cool is that? I did things around my children, and I invested in ClickFunnels to put all of my videos into a membership site. I use simple strategy posts, which I share in this group about, hey, do you want to come on over and be a part of my beta? People said yes. And I started signing people up. And I've had hundreds of people go through my programs in the last year because I was willing to show up and take full responsibility. And if that means that I've got to do a video 20 times, and sometimes I will start play 20 times because I'm like, oh, come on, you're starting to go all funny. And maybe I'm not 100% aligned, but that's okay because I'm going to get it done. Nothing's going to stop me. I don't feel like I failed after the third time of starting a video. I will keep doing it. And I've said to my husband, the door is shut until I get this video done, and I will see you soon. And 2 hours later, I've gone out of that room. Now, I had a little bit of judgment with myself when I was doing that. And of course, I had a little bit of perfectionitis going on and a little bit of frustration because I wanted to get things done. But I practiced and 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 I practiced. And I had 2 little kids and a job as well. So I did these things. I didn't use time as an excuse or money as an excuse or not having the right laptop or the right office or the right space because there is outside. Amanda Francis does most of her stuff outside under trees. There is beaches, there's cell phones, there is data. And like I said, with ClickFunnels, I think it's like $99 US a month or something like that. And at first I was like, oh, my coach didn't tell me I was going to have to buy all these different things. But I did it. And then I ended up making 100K from selling my programs. Well, about 60 to be honest. And then I have one-to-one clients and stuff. But it's worth it. Because I know as a CEO, investing in myself will give me more. Investing in myself and my business will help me taking full responsibility to showing up to the calls, to being aligned, to knowing that I create space because I create time, to know that I am enough just because I woke up today, and that anything I say to my soul-aligned client will be perfect. It will be perfect because it has to be. Because I'm doing things from alignment. And if people don't recognize me or if they don't resonate with me, it doesn't matter. Because they'll get whatever they need. They'll get whatever they require. Even if it's not what they wanted, they'll get what they need. It may be something I said that triggers them and they may change their life because of that. You know, but at the end of the day, that's my job, is to get people activated, to get them triggered, to get them seeing things differently so they can unlock their shit. I have been pulled up on my shit. My victim mode. I've been pulled up on my drama mode. I've been picked up on basically the trauma that I was playing out. And I'm so grateful for the coaches that did that. There was never any get me here or do this for me. So if you feel like clients are like what you're wanting to get your clients results because they've paid you money and because you have to prove your worthiness, it's not real. You can do Reiki on someone and someone might not even receive it. Maybe they get what they needed. I don't know. But it doesn't matter, because if you are heart-based, if you are coming from your soul, and if you are acting as that CEO, which means you get to be in creativity. The way I work is I have a VA because I don't want to do my own graphics. I find it way too long and exhausting. I have a full-time person, which is my husband, but he works full-time in my business to do my accounts, to do my contracts, to do my emails, to do all of my membership site stuff, the ClickFunnels, the Facebook advertising, all of that stuff. And that's 40 hours a week he does. I do that because I don't want to, because I'm the CEO. I'm the one who shows up and talks in my business because I want to. I really want to do all of the coaching. Sometimes I bring in incredible guest speakers, but because I want to, because I chose them. I get to work from my car or the beach or on holiday. I even did an hour working in the bath the other day because I want to. I'm recording this video on a Saturday when I was like, I'm going to have the whole weekend off. But then I decided, oh gosh, I've just got this stuff oozing through me about the CEO. So I'm doing it right here, right now, with no excuses. I can't be bothered doing it from my computer or my office or here or there or whatever. So I'm like, I'm going to do it right here. And in fact, you're sitting here on a pocket knife on my side lamp while I'm sitting on the ground. I don't really care that my background is not perfect, or that my face isn't perfect and made up, or that I'm still wearing my exercise gear. I don't care, because I'm showing up. And that's all that matters, because I am the CEO of my business, and my business is successful because I am the CEO, because I decided when I gave away my power to coaches, to other people's judgments of what I should do or what I shouldn't do, which is I did that my whole life. Mummy, Daddy, are you proud of me? I made $500 today with hairdressing. Well done, Vicky. Thank you. You know, I don't do that anymore. I'm like, okay, I actually kind of made $5,000 today, but I'm not even going to tell them about it because they can't comprehend that, because they don't understand what I do. They're going to be like, how do you make $5,000 in a day? Like, a lot of people don't understand that, but I manifest. And if I told them, well, I manifested, and then I aligned, and I went to the beach, and then I had an hour bath, and then I went and had a nap, and then I had a client call, and then I did this, and then I made like $5,000. They'd be like, okay, you're crazy. I don't need confirmation from my parents or from my husband or from my friends or from my coaches. What I use my coach for is, you know, just like, hey, I'm feeling this way or doing that. And then she shifts out the blocks. I go, thank you. But I always know that it's not the external, it's always me. So if someone triggers me, or if I'm feeling judgment on myself, I know it's me. I take 100% responsibility for the time. If I'm saying I don't have time, I don't have time, I don't have time, I don't have money, I don't have money, I know that I've fallen off the wagon of responsibility and need to jump back on. So what can I do right now to be the best CEO of my business? I know for a fact that hustling does not work for me. Hustling does not work. I tried that. I did that before I knew about my human design. I was kind of, you know, working 8 hours a day, and it was exhausting. And now I try to work like 3 to 6 max a day. 6 hours would be my max, and I only do that probably twice a week maximum. I make sure that I try and have like 2 days off a week where I'm just kind of just being me, just being Victoria, and hanging out with friends and family and stuff like that. But the other thing as well is, it's okay if I don't. I'm in the middle of a launch right now with a program. So that means I might show up and do a live. I might be interacting with people. I might do a couple of hours on the weekend because I love it. Launching is one of those things as well where you're the CEO. So how would you like to launch? Of course, I teach the way that I launch, and I invite you to do whatever you want to do. But the way I launch is really over a few weeks, and half of it's energetic. So I'm sitting there going, bring the people to me. I've just energetically invited a whole lot of new people to come into my vortex. And how can I serve these people? I'm inviting in coaches and practitioners and people that want to turn up their intuition and their magic and their mediumship. Where are these people? Bring them to me. You know, bring them to me, spirit, and show me how it is, and yada, yada, yada. And every single day I'm getting, at the moment, about 3 or 4 friend requests on my holistic energy shifting. So people are wanting to join the group. And I don't know where they're coming from. I don't know. They're just coming. I don't even have Facebook ads coming from there, but I've got people joining every single day. A few weeks ago, I was like, I put that intention out. I want to have a whole lot more people on my personal page so I can follow them through to my group page. So I went through and I friended people. Friends of friends, and all of that type of stuff, people that I think would align with my content, my free content on holistic energy shifting. And then it's like I started something and now it's just an ongoing thing. People are starting to pay me in full because I changed my energy and said, rather than people paying me on long payment plans, which I knew was very required at the time, because I really desired for everybody to have the opportunity to do my programs, even though they're quite low cost. In the coaching world, I still desired that. It felt very aligned, but now I'm like, hang on a minute, now I'm requiring people to pay in full. So what would it take for people to pay in full? I'm the CEO, so I'm changing my rules, and I change my rules all the time. Because every day I can choose what I want to do in my business. Yesterday I made an executive decision of going from a $4,000 program, and I dropped it to half price because I felt like it. I was like, what would it take to get 20 people in at this price of 2,222? I decided I didn't want to make it 4,444 anymore. I made that decision on the spot, told my team, and said, can you please go onto the website, change the time, I don't want to charge that amount anymore. I want to charge this amount. because it aligned with me. It wasn't out of scarcity, because it aligned. So how do you align with your offers? How do you align with your life? And where are you not taking full responsibility in your life? You will get the tips from those little insights from places where you're complaining, or where you're blaming, or where you're comparing. Wherever you're doing that, turn it around, dig deep into yourself and go, what am I complaining about? What am I blaming about? And where am I not taking responsibility? Taking responsibility doesn't mean going into guilt, by the way. It's not going, oh, I did that and I'm a shit mum, or I'm a shit CEO, or whatever. It's about going, okay, cool, right, all right, take responsibility for that. I was late on the call, or this happened, or whatever it is. I've got some loose boundaries. That person was 30 minutes late on the call, so do I have any loose boundaries, or do I require to teach her that I'm just not actually available for this? And it's always from love, always from service. When we get triggered, there's something that we need to look in with ourselves. It's always about us, because life is internal, not external. I know you've heard the concept 10 million times, I'm sure of it. But are you actioning this and living this? Are you creating time and money? I said to my sisters today on a walk, I said, well, time and money are just energy. And we create time and we create money. Because my sister said, I'm just a bit broke at the moment, I don't have money. And I said, okay, so why? You know, and it was just a very casual talk. And then my sisters both said, I wish we understood that concept. Because they can hear it. And I suppose they can understand it, but they don't get it. So they don't implement it. Where I will say, I'm going to make some money now. I'm going for a bath. And this week, I made a lot of money because I went, okay, what is the energy side of this first before the action? When I do the hustle and the show up and the show up and the push, it doesn't work for me. What works for you? Is it like a sprint and then relax? Or is it like me having mini sprints during the days and being a mermaid and then doing a sprint and then celebrating and then having a bath and like, you know, after this I'm going to go paint. And I'm going to channel out and I'm going to go to the beach and I'm not going to work for the rest of the day. I'm not even going to think about it, because that is what I get to do for being the CEO. If I don't do those things, then I may have some loose boundaries and think that I'm going to have to work throughout the weekend and stay on the phone, on the tablet, on the computer. I've got resources all over the house, of course. So I make sure my phone doesn't have, my watch doesn't have any messages or emails on it. But I'm going to take the responsibility of going, okay, it's time for you not to be working. My husband even said to me yesterday, as I was scrolling on Facebook and checking out everybody's pages and stuff like that. He said, hey, Victoria, you said you weren't going to work. You were going to play with the kids. And I put down my phone and I said, thank you. Oh my God. And he didn't say it with any trigger. He didn't say it at all. I said, thank you so much. I gave him a kiss and I said, thank you for the reminder. I'm so lucky that you've got my back. Because we do start getting addicted to the phone and the notifications and what are people doing in my group? Is anyone in my group? Oh my God, I've got to do content. I better take photos. I better do this. But the amount of times now that I leave my phone at home and I say, can you take a photo of this? And my sisters will be like, where's your cell phone? Or my husband will be like, where's your cell phone? And I go, it's in the car, or I left it at home because this is just me time. And I don't need to document it right now. And other times I'll take my phone down to the beach and I'll document it all and be like, oh, this is so good. Because I'm the CEO. I get to choose what I want to choose and I get to change my mind at any given time. And I can change the dates of launches. I can choose to completely transform programs, make them longer. I just added 2 more weeks to a program that I'm doing because the girls required more time. And I've added extra modules in. And I dropped the price. And I extended the launch. That's what a CEO does. I didn't sit there in pain and agony thinking, how am I going to do this? I went, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do this. Just like this video. Not everybody thinks like that. But that is how I think. Some other things take a little bit more time and precision and I might book them in. But again, I'm the CEO. And so I want you to say, I'm the CEO of my life and my business. I am the CEO of my life and my business. I am a coach or a practitioner or a healer or a medium or whatever, nutritionist, whatever you are, in my own right. I take full responsibility for time and money. And I acknowledge that if I don't have these things, that I'm going to come back to me and I'm going to work on myself, because I'm not a victim of the linear time that we are taught. Instead, jump into that Einstein time and know that you can stretch it out and you can make it smaller. A good example of that is you're lying in bed with your child or with your lover or whatever, and you're like, oh my God, we've just been cuddling for like 20 minutes and it felt like a minute. You're like, where did that time go? Or you're sitting there with a friend and you're having a coffee and you're like, oh my God, it's been 3 hours. What the fuck? Like, how did that go? Or how did that whole day go? I love you so much. It can't go that fast. And that's what happens when you create space. You're everywhere. You're expanded. But if you're doing something that you don't want to do, or you're in pain, like the book that I read, it was like sitting on a stove, right? Sitting on a stovetop, and you're there for 1 minute, but because you're focusing on it, you're like, ow, what is happening? Ow, 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 ow. That 1 minute is like a lifetime. It's like going to the dentist. You might be in there for 15 minutes. It's like 3 hours because you're focusing on it and you're focusing on the pain, or you're focusing on whatever, and you make yourself dense, you make yourself solid, and that there slows down time. So one thing I do if I'm in the dentist is I actually expand out, and I take myself somewhere else. So then I can manipulate time. And we can do this when we're traveling places. If we think, oh God, I'm going to be late. And then I always, rather than doing that, I go, oh shit, okay, I left a little bit later. How can I bend some time right now? So I expand myself out. I don't go into judgment, and I always turn up like a minute before or exactly on time. It's like magic because I am in control of it. If I am late for things all the time, or something happens and I'm a bit wonky, I know that I'm not taking full responsibility and I must go back to realign. So there's a lot of information in this video, and there's a lot of different points I wanted to talk about, but I do feel like the responsibility of time and money and being the CEO and taking full responsibility are really all part of one. So I trust that you got what you required out of this. And if you want to do any more research on any of the things that I've talked about, please feel free to do that or reach out in the group and we can chat about this. Have a beautiful day, and remember, everything is a choice. Everything, including your mindset. If you go into thinking too much, remember you are an infinite being. You are here to serve from love, from service, and always lead with love. With every post, with every offer, with every session, everything comes from love, so we can help others here with our mission. Sending so much love to you guys, and I'll see you in the next video.
And that's a wrap for today. Thank you so much for joining the Release Your Blocks podcast. If you enjoyed this episode, I would love to hear from you. So please leave a review and tell me what your favorite takeaway from today was. There is so much more from where this came from. You can also find me at Holistic Energy Shifting on Facebook, where you can find more content, more coaching, and more guidance. Have a grand and glorious day, and I'll see you next time.